Now, we've done a similar video in the past in regards to Granite Bay's top neighborhoods. Now, we know Granite Bay is known for its luxury living and its over-the-top houses with its gated communities, but Granite Bay also has some awesome family-friendly neighborhoods that are located super close within walking distance to some of the top-rated schools in the area. Now, in today's video, we're going to showcase 6 neighborhoods that are in the Granite Bay area that we absolutely love, and now these neighborhoods tend to be a little bit more affordable.
What's up, everyone? We're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, and today we have a super fun one. Like she said, we're going to be taking you around Granite Bay. We're going to be showcasing 6 different neighborhoods. These are going to be 6 of some of our favorite neighborhoods within Granite Bay. Now, we know Granite Bay has a lot of that luxury living, guard-gated communities. Some of your craziest houses are going to be located here in Granite Bay, California, but today we're going to be showing you some of our favorite neighborhoods. Some of these neighborhoods are going to be very close in proximity to Granite Bay High School, very close in proximity to some of the other elementary schools like Ridgeview and Oak Hills. So stick around until the very end. The last 2 neighborhoods on this list are going to be some of our top favorite neighborhoods.
All right, so the first neighborhood that we're going to talk about when it comes to some of our favorite neighborhoods in the Granite Bay area is going to be Hillsboro. Now, the Hillsboro neighborhood is located between Eureka Road and East Roseville Parkway and is named after the namesake park, Hillsboro Park, which is where I'm at right now. Now, Hillsboro is a gated community and it has 2 separate sides to it. Now, the west side is going to feature only single-story homes, while the east side is going to feature a mix of 2-story as well as single-story homes and custom and semi-custom homes. The center of this neighborhood and the 2 separate sides is split by Hillsboro Road. So Hillsboro Road is a non-gated road that you go down and you can access either the west side of the neighborhood or the east side of the neighborhood through the 2 main gates down that road. Now, homes in this neighborhood were built between 1991 and 2000, and homes in this neighborhood can range in size anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 square feet. You can find a home anywhere with 3 to 5 bedrooms or 2 to 5 bathrooms in this neighborhood. Now, some of the homes on the east side of this neighborhood, like I said before, are going to be custom homes. They're going to have that kind of larger, grander feel, where the homes on the west side of the neighborhood are going to be single story, and they were built by primarily the same builder, so they're going to kind of have more of a similar feel throughout. But both sides of this neighborhood are very well taken care of and are maintained by the Hillsboro HOA. Now, this neighborhood does feature an HOA, and the HOA maintains the gate and the front yard as well as the common areas. Now, one of the perks to this neighborhood is that it's super close to Granite Bay High School. So if you have a high school aged kiddo, you are within walking distance of the highly rated Granite Bay High School. Now, quick note, Granite Bay High School does rate a 10 out of 10 overall on greatschools.org in every single one of greatschools.org's categories. So it's a 10 out of 10 overall, it's a 10 out of 10 for equity, and it's a 10 out of 10 for college readiness as well as test scores. Now, some of the perks of the Hillsboro neighborhood is, like I said before, it is centered around the Hillsboro Park, which is the park that I'm at right now. Now, this park features soccer fields, it has a baseball diamond, it has basketball courts, it has covered picnic area. It also has a cute little playground for kiddos as well as a swing set. So this is a really kind of family-oriented neighborhood with the center of this park. It's really well maintained, well taken care of, and the homes in this neighborhood are very nice homes that kind of offer a grand feel, but they're not as expensive as some of the guard-gated communities that you can find in Granite Bay. Probably one of the top selling points to this neighborhood, besides being super close to Granite Bay High School and being close to this awesome park, is definitely going to be that this neighborhood has the Granite Bay address, but it also has City of Roseville utilities. So being a part of Hillsboro, for electricity, you're not paying PG&E, you're paying the City of Roseville, and this can significantly reduce the cost of your electricity bill overall, especially in some of these larger homes where during the summer months you're gonna have to run your AC. So it is super nice to be a part of Granite Bay and have a home in Granite Bay, but have City of Roseville utilities. It's a huge perk, and it's a selling feature later on down the road that you can advertise to home buyers that your home will have lower cost of electricity, even if you don't have solar, just because these homes have City of Roseville. So we absolutely love Hillsboro. I love that it's close walking distance to the high school. It's also super close to one of our favorite places if you like going to New Yo. It's It's within a walking distance to there as well. But this is a great neighborhood with awesome houses, and they all kind of have like that grand, nice feel. And it's very, very well kept.
All right, so before we jump into our second neighborhood, that phone number is gonna be popping back up. And just to remind you guys, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we also love more helping you out with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is gonna be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message. And we absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us. So go ahead, schedule that Zoom call, pause the video, take a screenshot of that phone number so that way we can help you with your move to the greater Sacramento metro. All right, so the second neighborhood on our list is gonna be one of my absolute favorite neighborhoods in all of Granite Bay, and that's gonna be Tree Lake. Now, Tree Lake is gonna be one of those communities that's gonna be over off of East Roseville Parkway, kind of in between like Sierra College, and as if you're going down towards kind of like Barton Road, kind of the back way over by the Granite Bay Country Club. Now, this is going to be a non-gated community. There are going to be a couple of like smaller communities that are in here, but probably one of my favorite things to do is to walk down that East Roseville Parkway in Tree Lake Village. So like, look at that, like right behind us, you got some of these like cool man-made lakes. Like this parkway has some of the prettiest trees in all of like Sacramento Metro. Like just the way these trees kind of turn with the fall season that it is right now is just super cool. Now, the cool thing is like you do have some of these houses that kind of like back up to some of the lakes. So a lot of the homes in this neighborhood were like semi-custom homes that were built between like the 1990s and the early 2000s. Some of them back up to some of these lakes right here. Cool thing about this lake is if you're a resident, you actually get to do some like pretty cool bass fishing. So like in the summertime, we'll see like, you know, kids out here that don't have anything better to do and they're just out here, you know, bass fishing in the summertime, which is super awesome. You know, like I said, some of the houses in this area are gonna be, you know, built between like late 90s, early 90s to the early 2000s. And some of these homes are gonna be anywhere between 3 to 6 bedrooms, 2 to 5 bathrooms, anywhere between like 2,000 square feet all the way up to probably about the 5,000 square foot range. And then they're also gonna sit on somewhat larger lots. So that's one of the cool things about this area, being that it's a little bit older part of Granite Bay. You're gonna have awesome houses that are gonna be built on, you know, man-made lakes like this, but most of the homes that are gonna be back in here are gonna be super nice. This is probably one of my top 2 favorite neighborhoods in all of Granite Bay. I'm gonna show you the second one here towards the end, and you're gonna pretty much love that I like being around water for the most part, but you know, a lot of these homes are gonna be super awesome. Now, one of the cool things about this particular neighborhood is you're within walking distance to Granite Bay High School. You're also within walking distance to 2 of the elementary schools, which is gonna be Oak Hills and Ridgeview, which are also gonna be on the backside of Granite Bay. So the cool thing is our daughters have practice at Granite Bay High School in the summertime. So the one kid that doesn't drive, when we have to drop her off for practice, you know, we'll stay over in this area and then we'll just kind of do a walk from the high school all the way up to Granite Bay Golf Course and then back down to the high school. Ends up being about 45 minutes and just a little over 3 miles. So one of our favorite things about this area is this parkway and the walk. So like I said, we'll do a walk that goes from the high school all the way up to the golf course. Typically takes about 45 minutes to go up and back, but you know, just like you can see, like the tree color on this parkway in the fall time is just absolutely beautiful. In the summertime, it's all green and it's all lush. It almost feels like you're not really even in California for the most part. I mean, it's one of our favorite neighborhoods. We're gonna take you to my other favorite neighborhood here towards the end, so make sure that you stick around. But yeah, Tree Lake Village is definitely one of those areas that's super nice.
All right, so our next neighborhood that we're at is gonna be Hidden Valley in Granite Bay. Now, Hidden Valley is located right off of Auburn Folsom Road, and it has houses along West Lane, Morningside Drive, Willow Lane, and Oak Glen Lane. Now, one of the cool things about this neighborhood is located right around this like man-made lake right behind me. Now, growing up in high school, my best friend lived in this community and it was such a blast. So this community has man-made lakes. It has a clubhouse. There's a little dock out there. You can go swimming in this lake. You can go fishing in this lake. They do a ton of fun activities at the clubhouse. And it's just such a blast. I remember spending a lot of our teenage summers out at this lake. It was so much fun. and all of the different little events that they do. There's always something going on in this community. Now, homes in this neighborhood were built between 1970 and 1990. Now, this neighborhood features homes on larger lots. Some of them have horse property, some of them have little stalls and little barns. Now, one of the things about this neighborhood is that it is a horse lovers community. Now, they have different riding trails back here. They also have some little arena areas if you have a horse where you can take your horse out here. Definitely a horse lovers community. There's trails from this neighborhood that will take you out to Folsom Lake. It's absolutely stunning and gorgeous. Now, like I said, I remember growing up and my best friend lived in this neighborhood. There were always horses out on the trails. You could always stop by someone's house and pet their horse if they had one. It was super great. Now, homes in this neighborhood were built between 1970 and 1990. You can find homes in this neighborhood where people have bought the lot, leveled the home, and completely rebuilt it. So there are some newer construction homes in here, or homes that have been completely redone where you wouldn't even recognize that it was an older home. Now, a lot of single-story ranch homes are in this neighborhood with a ton of character. None of these two homes are the same. They are all different. They're all custom homes dating back to the early 1970s. One cool thing about this neighborhood is that there is a ton of wildlife out here. You'll constantly see deer walking through. When we were driving in, you could see turkeys wandering the neighborhood. There's ducks that live at this pond. It's just a really, really awesome neighborhood. There's always fun things going on. One of my favorite things about this neighborhood is they do a really cool 4th of July celebration at their clubhouse that's located on this lake right behind me. They also do fun Christmas stuff. They do different like visits with Santa out here. There's always great things going on in this neighborhood. Now, they also do like community barbecues throughout the summer. You can rent out the clubhouse out here for like birthday parties or events or social gatherings. So there's a ton of things that this little neighborhood has to offer. It's super cute, super fun. All the people out here are really invested and involved in the community. All the neighbors really know each other. And it's just a really fun vibe out in this community. One of the things I love about this neighborhood is how quiet it is out here. It's really, really peaceful, but you're still super close to the heart of Granite Bay, so it doesn't take you that long to get to things in town or to hop up to the grocery store. But it's just a really fun neighborhood. I remember spending a ton of summers here, hanging out by this lake, going to a lot of the different events and gatherings that they had. Super fun. And like I said, a lot of the houses out here are very unique. You've got different custom homes out here, and they can range in size anywhere from a small 3-bedroom, 2-bath, all the way up to a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom home out here. You can find bigger single-story ranch-style homes, all kind of sitting on that bigger property. So Hidden Valley is definitely a neighborhood you're going to want to check out if you're looking for something that has a little bit more space, a little bit more acreage, and you want that community vibe and feel. This is a great neighborhood in Granite Bay.
So the 4th neighborhood on the list, the 2nd neighborhood that I get to talk about is one that I would say Lauren probably didn't want me to even mention on this channel because it's kind of like one of her dream neighborhoods. It's one of my dream neighborhoods too. This neighborhood is probably one that Lauren didn't even really want me to mention, but whatever, I'm gonna do it anyways. And this neighborhood is super special, and I want to say the reason why this neighborhood is so special is proximity wise where it's located at. So this 4th neighborhood that we're going to be showing you guys is located in Lake Ridge. Now, Lake Ridge, it's going to be all the way down at the end of Douglas. It's going to be pretty much one of the last streets before you get to Folsom Lake. Now, when you get to Mooney, which is going to be the street that takes you up to, or it's going to be the street that takes you to Lake Ridge, there's going to be a crest that's going to be at the top of Mooney, and it's going to be called Sierra Drive. Now, Lake Ridge is going to be, you know, pretty much everything that's going to be on that side of Douglas Boulevard. And pretty much most of these houses, depending on if you're on Sierra or if you're on Lakeview, most of these houses are going to have super awesome, badass views of Folsom Lake. So you can kind of see it right there in between some of the houses. So we're at the 4 or 5 o'clock hour. It's starting to get dark already, but we're in wintertime right now. But this is one of those neighborhoods. So, you know, right now in the air, you can tell people have got some fires burning right now in their fireplaces. This place is, it's quiet. There's just nothing going on right now. You know, the house that we live in right now backs up to a kind of a road. So I just love that like in between some of these houses, so this is the side that backs up directly to Folsom Lake. Now, this side up behind me is gonna be Sierra Drive. Now, this side sits up a little bit higher than these. So even if you're on this side of Sierra Drive, you're going to have pretty awesome views of Folsom Lake as well, because you kind of don't have, you know, these houses sit down below kind of on that crest, and you're not really going to be dealing with too much. But the cool thing about this neighborhood is these houses in here are not super obnoxious. Now, granted, you do have some that are going to be on, you know, the lakeside, that pretty fancy, but for the most part, like these houses were built between like the 1950s to the 1970s. So it definitely has that more modest feel. It's not a gated community. It's kind of hidden back here. But the other thing is like no two homes are the same. So between the 50s and the 70s, you know, 3 to 5 bedrooms, 1,500 square foot, like little small kind of lake houses, all the way up to 3,000 square foot. For example, there's a sign, I don't even know if this lot's available still, but there's a sign, Landmark Builders, and that lot goes all the way down to Folsom Lake. So, you know, figuring out what you would have to do to build on that, but yeah, I mean, like this is just one of those things where it's like that view right there is just completely awesome. We come up here every once in a while when we want to do a nice walk, but the cool thing is you also have access to Folsom Lake through this neighborhood. So don't get me wrong, you can't come up here and park and expect to go down to Folsom Lake. But if you live in this neighborhood, you have access, you have trailhead access to Folsom Lake. So there's really no parking to be able to get down to Folsom Lake from up here. But if you live in this neighborhood, you do have direct trail access to get down to Folsom Lake.
Next up, we're at one of my favorite neighborhoods in all of Granite Bay. We're at Ashley Woods. Now, Ashley Woods is located near East Roseville Parkway down Old Auburn Road. Now, Ashley Woods is separated by Old Auburn Road. So half of the neighborhood is on one side of Old Auburn, the other half of the neighborhood is on the other side of Old Auburn Road, and it is a gated community. Now, homes in this neighborhood range anywhere in size from 1,900 square feet all the way up to 4,500 square feet. Here you can find single-story homes as well as two-story homes. You can find semi-custom homes. Some homes back to this awesome green belt. You can kind of see behind me, there's like a big green space. Now, most of these homes sit on larger lots with a big enough space where you could put a pool in, or a lot of these homes also have pools in the backyard as well. So that's something that's super nice. Now, homes in this neighborhood have anywhere from 3 to 5 bedrooms and range with bathrooms anywhere from 2 to 4 bathrooms. Now, these homes all offer a little bit of a different vibe and feel. They are super nice. They are kind of that luxury feel. They do have many upgraded awesome amenities. One of the cool things about Ashley Woods is that there are tons of trails that run throughout this neighborhood. So if you like to get outdoors, if you like to go walking, there are some awesome trails in and around this neighborhood. And you have a lot of that greenbelt space that you can kind of see behind me. So here, if you find a home that backs to the greenbelt, one of the cool things is that your backyard will kind of have that bigger feel because of the way that the back fences that back to the greenbelt are. It kind of gives you that perception of a larger yard, but then you don't have to take care of all of it. Now, one of the things with Ashley Woods does have an HOA. Now, the HOA here does cover the gate, it covers front yard maintenance, and it also covers all of the common areas located throughout the community of Ashley Woods. Now, homes in this neighborhood kind of have that more grand feel. You do have a lot of families in this neighborhood. A lot of times when we're showing homes in this neighborhood, we'll see kiddos outside playing in their front yard. Now, one of the cool things about this neighborhood is within walking distance to Granite Bay High School. So if you've got high school aged kiddos, you're within walking distance to that. You're also super close to Oak Hills and Ridgeview, which are right behind Granite Bay High School. So that's a huge perk to this neighborhood. But one of the best perks to this neighborhood, similar to Hillsborough, is that homes in this neighborhood also have City of Roseville utilities. So for your electricity, you don't have Pacific Gas and Electric, so you're not going to be paying those super high rates when it comes to your electricity bill. So whether you have solar or don't have solar doesn't really matter in this neighborhood, because you do have the cheaper electricity with City of Roseville. That's an awesome perk to this neighborhood. We've toured a bunch of different floor plans in this neighborhood. They've got single stories, you can find 2-story homes, and they all kind of have that unique charm and character. They're all very well built and well designed homes. This neighborhood also kind of has that sense of community vibe, that feel. We know a ton of people that live in this neighborhood and absolutely love it. Ashley Woods for me is going to be one of my favorite neighborhoods in all of Granite Bay. You definitely have to check it out if you're ever in Granite Bay.
So our last neighborhood, and one of my favorite neighborhoods on this list, I mean, the last one that I did was absolutely my favorite neighborhood, but this is definitely top 3 because I only did 3. But this neighborhood's gonna be East Ridge. Now, East Ridge is gonna be located kind of over between like East Roseville Parkway, Old Auburn. It's gonna be on the Granite Bay side. So it's gonna be kind of near Sierra College, Old Auburn, East Roseville Parkway. It's still actually pretty close towards Granite Bay High School. Probably the coolest thing about this neighborhood, or the thing that I love about this neighborhood, and we've touched on it through some of these neighborhoods in Hillsborough and Ashley Woods, but East Ridge is also going to have City of Roseville utilities. So there's gonna be a small pocket of neighborhoods within the Granite Bay community that are also gonna have City of Roseville utilities. So pretty cool if you ask me. It's definitely one of those things where, you know, with most of Granite Bay and most of Placer County having PG&E, City of Roseville utilities are gonna be pretty awesome. Now, proximity-wise to the high school and the elementary school, you're still probably within like a 5 to 10 minute drive. Definitely within walking distance. No major streets, no major roads that your kids are going to have to cross over if you know, you want them to ride their bike to school, or you want them to walk to school with friends, but you know, you're still probably within, you know, a 5 to 15 minute drive from that. And then homes in this neighborhood were gonna be primarily built between 1995 and 1998. So definitely when you look at it from an overhead map perspective, it's definitely going to have much more of a smaller feel or smaller neighborhood vibe. There's probably only gonna be like maybe 5 or 10 streets in this neighborhood. So probably like 60, 70 homes that are gonna be back in this area. So between 1995, 1998, these are gonna have a little bit grander of a feel. So they are going to be anywhere between like 2,200 square feet to 4,000 square feet. They're gonna sit on larger lots. So you are gonna have the opportunity to have some of these homes have pool-sized lots. So another cool thing about some of these homes on the exterior perimeter of the neighborhood is that they back up to some green belts, which is super cool.
So those were our top 6 neighborhoods in Granite Bay. We absolutely love these neighborhoods. These neighborhoods are great if you have a family, or if you want to be close to some of the top rated Granite Bay schools. Now, if you want to know more about living in Granite Bay, California, or the greater Sacramento metro area, that number should be popping back up. We are the ones that answer every single phone call, text message, and email, and we would love to help you out with your move to the greater Sacramento area.